Here we are, guys. As you can see, I'm in Newcastle, the home of arguably the most passionate football fans in the country. And I'm here today to meet one of its most famous sons.
Shearer strike, and it's an absolute bullet! Drops for Shearer! Oh! And St James's Park rises one to salute a living legend on Tyneside.
Born in the Gosforth area, brought up there, and played for the team that he absolutely adored. Top Premier League goal scorer, 260 goals. That's going to take some catching, I can tell you.
Here comes Alan Shearer. It's Shearer for Newcastle! Alan Shearer in front of the Gallagheys. He is Newcastle's record goal scorer. He is the local hero.
There's one or two similarities. We were both very fortunate enough to score goals for the clubs that we adored growing up. We also were lucky enough to manage those clubs and, to top it all, at this moment in time, both enjoying ourselves in a career in the media. Really looking forward to talking to Alan.
Yes,
Al, how are you?
How are you doing?
Great to see you, pal.
Nice
You
to
good
see
form?
you. Very well.
Good form.
Lovely seeing you.
Thanks very much for
No
coming
problem.
in today. Great to see you.
Go on
Come and
forward.
grab a seat, mate. How you been?
All good, man. Very good. Where do you want me?
How about there?
Here.
Great stuff.
Lovely.
I've done a wee bit of research on you, but
For
that's
once.
it. Huh?
I don't believe it.
And it took me a little bit longer than I thought it might.
Who's done it for you?
You ready for this?
I'm ready. Ready on you all.
Right, here we go. Top scorer in the Premier League, 260 goals. Let me know if I'm boring you. 30 and 63 for England.
I'll never get fed up with it.
Football Writers Player of the Year 94, PFA Player of the Year 95, third in the Ballon d'Or, and World Player of the Year 96. One of first two inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2021. CBE, Freeman of Newcastle upon Tyne, Honorary Doctor of Civil Law at Northumbria and Newcastle University. Here's my favourite. Deputy Lieutenant of Northumberland.
Tell me what that means.
You've got to shake that loose, the deputy, but I mean, that's letting it down.
Deputy Lieutenant, yeah.
But in all seriousness, I mean, do you look back and say, what was that all about?
I do actually, yeah. I was one hell of a lucky lad. I mean, to get paid to kick a ball around, we've been lucky, haven't we?
Very.
I mean, I was like you, working class, come from a tough background, tough city, and just loved football, man. Just wanted to play football, was half decent at it, loved scoring goals, and was determined to give it my best shot, and I did, and I got lucky.
Well, you touched on it, you said, I think a Gosforth area,
Yeah.
working class background, growing up, Gosforth High School.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about school.
I mean, I never ever missed a day at school because my parents wouldn't let me, you know.
Same.
Even when I was sick, I would get out and get to school.
That's the rules.
I probably had the best attendance record until about 6 months to go, when I knew I was getting a football contract or a YTS contract.
A YTS.
Then I wasn't too bothered. But as soon as I could walk, my dad chucked a ball at my feet, you know, in the garden, or what garden we had, and then I was out every night playing football until I was getting called in at 9 or 10 o'clock when it was getting dark. You know, I was probably the same as you.
Do you think that generation's gone?
Yeah.
Because that was the exact same.
Yeah.
That was the exact same. And school bags in, bang, lamp posts,
Yep.
lights come on, that was one of the posts, the goals.
Every night, me and my pals, there was a meeting time, finished school, did whatever you had to do, whether it was homework or whatever it was, and then you were out playing football until it was dark, until you couldn't play anymore. But yeah, I think that's long gone, isn't it? Through no fault of the kids' own, I think just because of life and society now, you very, very rarely see that anymore. But my big break was leaving home at 15, leaving Gosforth here in Newcastle.
Why Southampton?
Well, I got offered a trial. An old friend of ours, a scout who was Jack Hickson, who's sadly no longer with us, went to watch me play for Newcastle boys when I was 12 or 13. So I went for a trial, and there were 4 or 5 of us Geordies who went down at the time, and I loved it. I thought it was great. We used to, on the school holidays, go down for a week. And then I got offered to sign schoolboy forms at 14 So that was like 14 to just before I was 16. And then I got offered the apprenticeship. And
no doubts, no fears, no reservations?
Nah, not one. I mean, there was...
I think already that says quite a bit about you.
Yeah,
leaving home at that age.
Yeah, it was a huge thing. I remember getting on the train at Central Station, Newcastle, and my mum and dad, and I could when the train was pulling out the station, I could see the tears rolling down my mum's face. And I'm thinking, I mean, all my kids are grown up
these
now.
are joy, incidentally.
But, probably, yeah. At last he's gone. And I remember, my kids are older now, but I always remember when they were 15, thinking, how on earth did my mum and dad let me go down at Southampton at 15 years of age? But it was something I was determined to do, and I realised that if I was going to have half a chance of being a footballer, which I wanted to be, then I had to do that. Because also, Southampton had a great record of bringing kids through, you know? And so I thought that if I do half as well as I think I can do, you know, then at least I know I'm going to get an opportunity. And it was tough. Leaving home at 15 was tough.
Into digs straight away? Straight
into digs, which were about a mile from the Dell, the old Southampton ground. And it was bloody hard, man, because you know those days that training, cleaning the stadium, cleaning the boots, cleaning the toilets, which was really, really difficult. Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
Excellent, thanks, mate.
It was, but, you know, doing that side of the job, it was the best thing that could have happened because it kept your feet on the ground, it gave you great respect. And you weren't allowed in the first team dressing room unless you were actually cleaning it or you were going to be playing in there or getting changed to represent the first team. So
it was a target, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Something to achieve as you walk up in that dressing room.
It was tough at the time, but you know when you get midway through your career, you look back and you think that was brilliant. And I think that's one of the big things that is missing. If I could bring back one thing into football, it would bring back that side of things where you had to work, got to clean the boots, got to clean the toilets, got to do, and it opens your eyes and it tells you what the great game is all about. If you want to get to the next level, you have that bit of respect, but you have the graft as well.
I did it.
Yeah.
Oh, when I went back and I got the job, it's one of the first things I did.
Did you?
And I don't. People say to you, actually, one of the dads said to me, "Is it going to make my son a better player?" And I went, "I don't know if it will, but I think it might make him a better man, a better person."
Absolutely.
I think that's so important.
Totally
I
right.
genuinely do. Yeah. So, at that period, you've got your working head on. Did it surprise you just how quick? I know you made your debut, but then on your first full debut. You couldn't have wished for a better start against the Arsenal.
I know. Yeah, I'd been scoring goals in the youth team. Didn't have that many reserve team games, and then managed to get in this squad. And Danny Wallace, who was a Southampton forward at the time, great little centre forward, winger centre forward, failed a fitness test on a Saturday morning, and I got the nod off Chris Nicholl, the manager. He said, "You're in, you're playing, you're starting." I was like, oh. And then I'm sat...
Was that a good thing? Not having a lot of time to think about it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, my parents, mum and dad didn't have time to get from Newcastle to Southampton, so no one was there, you know. It was just get out and play. My missus, who I was with then, still now, or her parents were there, and that was it. So yeah, it was...
I mean, what did that feel like?
Fillet steak for pre-match meal. Fillet steak, only because remember Jimmy Case?
I do remember Jimmy Case. Jimmy Case was one of my favourite players at Liverpool.
Was brilliant. Everyone looked up to Jimmy in the dressing room, and Jimmy ordered fillet steak, and I was like, oh, Jimmy's having fillet steak.
I remember waiting outside Love Street because Liverpool were playing there as a boy to get Jimmy Casey's autograph.
Really, Jimmy was.
So was he the one that got
Jimmy was the hard guy. I mean, it was amazing because everyone in football at that time was petrified of Jimmy Case because he was as hard as they come, wasn't he?
Well,
both on the pitch and off the pitch.
Graham Souness will tell you. Yeah. Jimmy was one of the hardest.
So he was our leader in the dressing room, and he had fillet steak. So I thought it's good enough for Jimmy. I've never had fillet steak in my life. 17-year-old kid. So I had fillet steak for my first pre-match meal, and I managed to get out and score a hat-trick. But you know what happened after that? I scored a hat-trick, and I went out at 17, and I must admit I did have a few drinks that Saturday night. But Chris Nicholl, the manager, got me in the next morning to come and clean all the kit and the boots and what have you.
Great.
So I
Great.
went in with a stonking hangover to clean all
Great.
the dressing room and what have you, but I never scored again that season, though.
I've got that down as a matter of interest.
I think I made it a bit too hard for myself. Everyone was looking at me, must have been thinking, this kid's going to score every week and never scored again.
Come back to haunt you and bite you.
Yeah.
We talk about Leicester, but equally, Blackburn is some story up.
Even went house hunting around Manchester.
How did Sir Alex take it?
I rang him and left him a message, but he never rang me back. I know that I've missed out on a lot of trophies with Man United, but to play at my club, it was a dream come true.
The opportunity arose to move again, and you moved back north. You did. You had one or two options, maybe not to go as far north as you did.
Yeah.
Why Blackburn?
Well, I got a call and off the football club to say Blackburn Rovers have put a bid in for you and we've accepted it. And it was Kenny Dalglish at the time.
Yeah.
It was like the great King Kenny Dalglish. So I was like, OK, fine. And he was working, Ray Harford was the coach who I'd worked with Ray Harford at the England under-21s and did OK and loved Ray. He was a great coach.
I did too.
So I went up to meet Blackburn and there was Kenny Dalglish, Ray Harford, Robert Corr, who was the chairman, and Jack Walker on the Haydock Thistle Hotel just off the M6.
I know where you are.
And the meeting went so well. I mean, I was like, I walked in the room and thought, Kenny Dalglish. And he was just superb. And they sort of put all their plans. And this is what we want to do, and we want to win the Premier League within 4 years. And obviously, they meant...
What did you think when they said that? Because let's be honest about it. We talk about Leicester, but equally, Blackburn is some story up.
Yeah, it was going to be hard. I get that, but I thought with Ray, with Kenny's knowledge and know-how, and he'd already done it with Liverpool, and with Jack Walker's clout and finance and business and all of that I thought we've got a chance here. And some of the players and who they had and who they said they were going to get, and I knew they had big plans. So that was a great offer, and I thought, look, leave it with me. Can I have the rest of the week to go home and think about it? So I went back home, and the next day I got a call off someone from Manchester United and said, we realise that you've been for talks with Blackburn. We want to sign you.
Tell the jungle drums have been beaten.
Yeah, we want to sign you. But because of the way the club's structured, we'll have to do it at the end of the month. We couldn't get the finance together. And I said, well, I've given Blackburn my word that I'll give them an answer before the end of the week. Yeah. If you want me that much, you'll have to do something, because I can't wait till the end of the month. It's disrespectful to... And I never heard anything back.
Yeah.
And I signed for Blackburn, and it was like... I mean, we played Crystal Palace first day of the season.
What's a period?
Scored 2 goals on my debut.
Here's Shearer. He scored on his debut. Alan Shearer, Britain's most expensive footballer, starts to repay the fee. Gives the chance for Alan Shearer to start running at this Palace defence. Tries the curved effort. What an effort! What a goal from Alan Shearer! Oh, what a story!
And it was just like game after game, goal after goal. I'm thinking, wow, this is
relentless,
incredible, yeah.
At what point did you honestly believe, you and the boys, that you could win that title?
We should have won it the second season.
Yeah, second.
I think...
Finished second, mate.
We were pushing all the way, and it was only our lack of experience that cost us, you know. But that third year, we went into that season thinking we've got a great chance of winning this Premier League. But it was a really tough pre-season, that third one, because I'd went away to Portugal in the summer, and I came back in pre-season, and I felt terrible. I mean, I was hopeless at running. I was always at the back, a good 20, 30 yards behind everyone.
Yeah.
I could sprint, I could do whatever.
I can relate to that.
But I was terrible, and I hated pre-season. But I was further back than normal. Do you know, I was like 40 or 50 yards further back. And I felt awful. But anyway, it turns out I had hepatitis.
Oh.
I'd eaten some uncooked mussels apparently a month beforehand, and I missed all of pre-season. So I was in bed the whole of pre-season. I'd lost a stone or two of weight and it was terrible. And we were playing Southampton first day of the season on the Saturday, I think it was. And I started training on the Monday pre-season. And I trained all week, and Kenny said to me, "What do you think about Saturday?" I said, "Well, I'd much prefer to start, and if I'm lagging, you know, get me off." I don't think I missed a game that season.
It's amazing, eh?
It was like, and I think I got 34 league goals. I never missed a game, so that's the future, by the way. We only have 5 days pre-season. But that season was unbelievable. It was like, I mean, we did our best to chuck it away towards the end.
Well, it was amazing. I was going to ask you about the end. What, would it be nerves? Would it be a wee bit of loss of form? Would it have been just the ability, the mindset to go over the line against teams that had done it before?
Coming towards the last 3 weeks, we struggled to get over the line, and Man United were pushing and pushing, and Fergie was up to his old tricks, playing the old mind games. And but that last game, it was really weird because Blackburn going to Anfield.
I remember it.
Kenny Dalglish, who was the king and still is of Anfield, manager of Blackburn, knowing that if we win the league. If we don't win, Liverpool beat us, then there's a chance Man United could win it. And of course, the whole of Anfield was really weird atmosphere because they knew if they beat us, they were going to give Man United a chance to win the league. But it worked out perfectly.
Was it Jamie score? Was the Jamie score one?
Jamie scored
one. And it was as if he didn't know.
Barnes, I think. It was as if they didn't know what to do. It's like, oh God, we got off to a good start. We win in 1-0, and then for about 10 seconds, everyone thought we'd lost it, including the Blackburn fans. And I think,
oh, tell me that minute, because I can remember watching it on television. One of these split screen jobs.
We've played 3 minutes of injury time at Anfield. The jury's still out in the championship race. Oh my God! It's in, and it's a fantastic goal for Liverpool. Now even Kenny doesn't know, the man who knows everything about football. Magnificent from Jamie Redknapp. But the news is coming in from Upton Park, and what happens here will not matter, because Manchester United could not win. They have drawn at West Ham.
I can remember Kenny, and he must have just got information. Bang.
I think it was honestly, it must have been 10 or 15 seconds, the whole of the Blackburn end behind the goal. It was like, you could see the panic and the fear in their faces. And I looked around at our players and I was thinking the same, thinking, oh no, all of this hard work for nothing again. But then 10 or 15 seconds later, I just saw the whole of Anfield went mad. I looked over to the dugout, and Kenny and Ray were hugging each other. I looked up to the director's box. Jack Walker was up there, and he was in tears, and that was it. So from 3 years earlier to having a huge decision, they said to me they were going to win the league within 4 years, and it came a year early. So it was 4 great years at Blackburn.
The celebrations are only just beginning then. I think it could be a long night.
And then, there's no why about this. Your home team comes calling, and I probably can relate to it as much as anybody.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah, but it wasn't an easy decision, because it was again I got the call from Manchester United, but this time they did get back to me, and I did have a meeting.
Who with?
With Sir Alex. It was really strange because I was meeting Kevin Keegan and Sir Alex on the same day in the same house, and I met Kevin in the morning and Sir Alex in the afternoon. Wow. And I always remember Sir Alex coming into it was actually David Platt's mother-in-law's house. We'd sort of taken over the house because we wanted it all done in secret.
How much did he charge you?
I haven't got a clue. And I remember Sir Alex coming in the afternoon after the talks going really well in the morning with Kevin. And his first words to me were, "Am I seeing you first, or have you seen Kevin this morning?" And I went, "Oh, I spoke to Kevin this morning." He goes, "Excuse my language." He went, "That's me f***ing." And I was like, "Oh, really?" That was his first words to me. But anyway, talks went really, really well, and I thought at one stage I was going to go, and I went house hunting around Manchester for a day or two.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then early, I looked at, we loved Suey's house on May.
Yeah.
So we were really interested in that. And then I got another call off Kevin a few days later saying, can I have another half an hour with you? And I had half an hour with him. And I just thought, what am I waiting for? I've got to go back home. And that was it. I rang the missus up because the meeting again with Kevin was in Manchester. And I said, there's going to be a taxi come in half an hour and you've got to pack me a bag and put it in the taxi and send it to Manchester Airport.
No.
I never ever went back to that house.
Is that right?
I signed for Newcastle, yeah. What was it?
I find it brilliant. The relationship I've got with Sir Alex, you probably know, I got way back as a kid with Sir Alex and training as a boy. He used to pick me up we used to go to St Mirren, blah, blah, blah. And I think two of my mates and two guys that I know really, really well, both Geordies, are probably the only two that I can really remember saying no to Man United Sir Alex. That's you and the Madman. That's you and Gascoigne.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of irony there. But obviously, once you've decided, you're not going back. How did Sir Alex take it? I know how Kevin would have taken it, but I know how...
Well, I thought, you know, out of respect, because of the interest and because of how much he sort of wanted me, I thought I've got to ring him. Mm-hmm. It was the right thing to do. So I rang him once, no answer. I rang him again, no answer. So I thought, well, I'll ring him a third time, and if he doesn't answer this time, I'll leave a message. So I rang him a third time and left him a message and apologised and asked if he would ring me back. But he never rang me back. Which I probably didn't blame him.
No, I get it though.
But I get on fine with him now. He's
of course,
great. He's been to see each other at charity events or whatever, you know.
It's incredible what he's achieved. But at the same time, you've decided you've made that move, you're coming home. You couldn't, Alan, you couldn't have written or planned that whole script coming back to your club, to your city. Yeah. It's just special, eh?
It was, I mean, obviously I'd supported Newcastle. I'd stood on the Gallagher end as a kid. My dad's hero was Jackie Milburn. I'd watched him for years. My hero was Kevin Keegan.
Yeah.
I'd watched him in the 80s when he signed as a player. And, yeah, I couldn't turn down the opportunity, you know. I wanted to have great years, some of my best years as a player playing for Newcastle rather than coming back when I was in my mid-30s or whatever it may be and being on my last legs. I wanted to play for them while I still had something to offer, and it was just everything that I wanted and hoped for, and so much more than that, you know, to play at my club and score goals at the Gallagher end where I stood as a kid. I mean, it was a dream come true. It's every boy's dream, you know. Whatever city you're born in and you support. And can you imagine? I've been given that opportunity. I was the world's most expensive player, and I had the number 9 shirt on, which I always wanted to do. And it was, I mean, it was 10 unbelievable years. It was, if I had this decision to make again, I would make exactly the same decision. Yeah. I know that I've missed out on a lot of trophies with Man United. I'd have won so many more trophies. I know that. But I wouldn't have, I'm not sure I would have had that feeling that I get playing for Newcastle for 10 years and having the goal-scoring record. I mean, I was lucky enough to break my dad's hero's record, Jackie Milburn's record.
There's something about the centre-forward at Newcastle. Yeah. Supermac, Lord Jackie. Something about it, isn't it?
So to have 10 years, to have a testimonial, to have a statue, to have the goal-scoring record, and to live my dream. I lived my dream, man. It was like, I'm more than happy. I left home as a 15-year-old kid to go and play football, to be paid to play football. So then to have Southampton win the title with Blackburn, have 4 great years there, and then come and play for Newcastle United, my hometown team. I've lived the dream. I've sort of, what's the old song? I did it my way. Yeah. I wouldn't change anything. I would have made all of the same decisions. I'm absolutely delighted with the way it went. Met some great people over the years. Got paid. Doesn't get any better than that, does it?
It doesn't, mate. No. Tell me about England.
it was just one of those things. Again, penalties, Gareth. It is what it is. You don't realise as a player you've got it easy until you go into management. I actually prefer the co-coms because I get more of a kick. If you make an error, it's there for life.
Are you a TikTok man yourself?
No, I'm not. Definitely not.
Tell me about England. I look back at Euro 96. That was a great side. If there was one thing that prevented you getting over that final hurdle, because you had some great players and some great teams, but never actually got to win the tournament.
Penalties?
Is it as simple as that, really?
I think there were two England teams that I sort of played in that I thought we've got a right good chance of winning something here. One was 96 and the 98 one as well, which we got knocked out on penalties on both occasions. Obviously the semi-final in 96. I mean, that 96 team, the Euros team, was probably our best chance. The leaders we had in that team were, I mean, right throughout the team, Seaman, Adams, Ince, Pearce, Sheringham, it was unbelievable.
That 96 team, and you tell me, it just seemed to, it was like a giant snowball coming down the hill. You just gather momentum, some great performances. I thought maybe slightly fortunate against Spain, but I thought when you beat Spain, I thought, I think they win this.
Well, we knew that whoever won that semi-final, us and Germany, were going to go and win it because I think it was Czech Republic in the final. But it could have went either way in 90 minutes, and then it was like golden goal time, and then it was penalties. But it was just one of those things. Again, penalties, Gareth. It is what it is, you know. You just look back and no regrets. We give our best, and I think once you've done that in a tournament or in a match, if you've given everything you've got, then it is what it is. You're in the lap of the gods, aren't you?
You also, at the club you love, had a short managerial spell.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it, how it came about, what happened during it, how do you look back on it?
There's no way I could have turned it down because I got a call from my club to say we're in the mire. We've been through 3 managers already this season and we're in danger of being relegated. Will you come in and help us? What was I going to say? No. I couldn't say no. I always felt when I left football, I started doing my badges. I did my B licence and I had my A licence. So I always thought I was going to go into that side of things. And it was 3 years after I'd retired, so I'd had a nice little break away from football, and I thought, here we go, I'm ready for it, yeah. It was through no lack of effort or trying. I couldn't have worked any harder. I mean, I got a taste of what management's like, which sort of set me up, because it's really difficult. I mean, I was first in, last away. It's ridiculously hard, the pressure that you're under. You don't realise as a player you've got it easy until you go into management. So it's from that side of things it sort of helped me. But yeah, I'd still have a crack at it, yeah, because I loved it despite what happened, you know. It was 8 games. I would have loved to have had a stay on and go for the following season. I always thought that was going to be the case, but for whatever reason it never worked out. So again, no regrets.
Did they come straight back under Chris?
They went back to Chris Hughton, and Chris got them. I mean, they flew up the following season in the Championship. Yeah, I would have loved the opportunity to stay on, but it wasn't meant to be.
Well, by that time, you had already got yourself going in your television and media career, which clearly you were enjoying. Did the taste of management make your mind up that you wanted to go back into media? You said you wouldn't have minded another go at it, or maybe another year. But were you comfortable in the fact that I've got the television thing, I can fall back on that, I'm enjoying it, it's kind of the next best thing?
No, I still thought that I still wanted to go back into it, and I won't mention the club, but I flew home from holiday from Barbados to have one interview for another job, and I thought, I like the sound of this, and then I got offered back for a second interview. Yet the transfer kitty had gone halved and the number of staff I could bring in had halved. And then I went back for a third interview and it had come down again. And I thought, really? I'm not even in the job and things have changed. So I just thought, you know what? Sod this. I'm quite content in the TV career, and I'm getting out to matches. I love football, and I just thought I've got to knuckle down and get stuck in, and then that was it for me. After that, then I thought, what's the point? I'm not going to go back into management.
In terms of the media career, television career, punditry is one thing. You've obviously experienced that and enjoyed that. Now, different aspect, one which I enjoy myself, the co-commentary. Unfair question is which one of them do you prefer? But so I'll just ask the obvious question: how have you taken to the co-commentary?
No, I don't
different,
mind.
eh?
I don't mind saying it. I actually prefer the co-coms because I get more of a kick. You know, you're in the middle of the stadium, right on the halfway line. You're more involved in the game, and I think it's tougher than being a pundit because with a pundit you've got time to think, you've got time to do a little bit of analysis. Whereas you have to call it straight away within 2 seconds, and you know what it's like. If you make an error, it's there for life. It's like you got to think straight away, and you've got to be really, really, really quick. But I think that gives me more of a buzz than doing the pundit side of things. So I do really, really enjoy the co-com, especially when you've got a really great game. It's
brilliant, isn't it?
It's amazing. You get wrapped up in the game a lot more than you do as a pundit.
Another thing I'm going to ask you, one of the big differences nowadays, social media, right? Whether we like it or not, whether we are dinosaurs, it is part and parcel of the game now, right? Whether it's punditry, whether it's players watching it, it's there for everybody. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's always had an opinion. But we're now hearing and seeing everybody's opinion. What do you think?
It's different to what we were brought up on, you know. I mean, we have to accept that everything's moving on in the world, and social media plays a huge part in that, both positively and negatively. I mean, us as co-commentators or pundits...
Are you a TikTok man yourself?
No, I'm not. Definitely not. We'll get hammered, I guess, after doing a game. I don't know. I don't look.
Oh, I can assure you we do.
All right, okay. But it's from punditry from when I started in 2006 to now in 2025, whatever it is totally changed. I mean, the social media and the people that we work for are all looking for hits on social media. I mean, whether it's this crap of, I don't know, blind rating, top 10 or top 5, it's just done so people go and watch on social media, and that's what they're interested in, is getting as many hits as possible. Certainly changed from when we started.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, have you been trending recently yourself?
I'm not sure. I don't tend to look after it. If I'm travelling home from match of the day or after a court comes, I won't look.
I want to ask you, and just coming into close now, life outside the media, football. I know you enjoy your golf. Yeah. I know you're fairly competitive at it. Right? But also, tremendous amount of work with the foundation. You've got to be extremely proud of that, mate.
I am. I love it. I mean, I drive up the A69 and I see a sign, the Alan Shearer Centre, which gives me sort of goosebumps as I go past. You know, it's a respite home and activity centre for disabled, and I set it up back in 2006 when I had my testimonial against Celtic. We raised 1.6 million, and I gave it to set this foundation up. And to give it away for free, we have to raise 250 grand a year, which is tough, particularly nowadays, you know. So we have a ball and we have a golf day and we have several other really kind sponsors. But to see the reaction and to see that is like, we have a swimming pool in there, a sensory room, a music room, different therapy rooms and 12 bedrooms, and to give that away for free gives me as big as buzz as scoring goals, you know.
Now, in closing, first of all, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Cannot let you go. Newcastle versus Liverpool, Carabao Cup. How do you see the final going? I mean, it goes without saying, it's been, never mind so long, it's been too long for
70
Newcastle.
years of domestic trophy.
That's unbelievable.
70 years.
Was it 55?
1955.
FA Cup.
FA Cup, yeah.
I know you won the first cup. You knocked Rangers out the first cup in '69.
It was,
right?
Yeah.
So I can remember that.
Good knowledge of Newcastle, but you have done your homework, haven't you?
Better knowledge of Rangers, to be honest. But I mean, 1955, surely What do you think?
I would have preferred to play Spurs instead of Liverpool. I wasn't too happy when Liverpool knocked Spurs out in the semi-final. But, Liverpool have been, by a long chalk, the best team in the country this season. If Newcastle are going to win, they're going to need the big hitters fit, i.e. Isak has to play. I hope Joe Linton's going to be fit, and Sven Botman at the back. Then the manager's got options, but it'll be Newcastle got a dreadful record at Anfield, always have. So I wouldn't take that as too much of a judgment. I would hope their performance against them at St James's Park would be more of something to look at. But Liverpool will be favourites, and rightly so. It's one of those things, isn't it? Yeah. It's like, who knows? It has been that long, but it'll happen one year. It'll happen one year.
And you'll be there.
Why not this year?
And you'll be there.
And I'll be there this year. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Final question: are you going to give me an opportunity in the summer to get my 20 quid back off you to golf?
What's the handicap?
I think I'll have to play with you rather than against you. Right, mate.
We'll have another game. Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us. I
Cheers.
really appreciate it. Really appreciate it, mate.